Alrighty.
Here we go. That's right. I stole your thing.
I don't have a thing.
I thought your thing was. Here we go.
Nope.
No.
Nope.
When did you stop doing that?
Fourth
Get the
episode.
fuck out of here.
My thing's more like.
Never have you ever done that ever in our
My
life.
thing now. I do that all the time. Our daughter's even starting to pick up on my gremlin goofiness.
I think she's a gremlin on her own, dude.
No.
Yeah.
She's gonna pick that up off of from her dad.
And we're still gonna call it Gregan.
Of course.
Yeah.
Hey, he doesn't own the gremlin population.
When I think of gremlin, I think of him. That's just straight facts. He's the gremlin of the friend group.
And this coffee is like
What's wrong with the coffee?
strong.
I put in 1 less scoop than I usually do.
How many scoops?
4. I usually do 5.
Damn. I don't know why mine maybe it's just
Maybe I didn't put enough creamer in it.
yeah, I mean, yeah, probably. Yeah, because mine's darker than yours.
I have less coffee than you do. I haven't drank mine yet.
You haven't? Oh, I thought you already did.
No,
Oh.
I didn't get there wasn't a whole lot of coffee.
Oh, that's probably why. That's why it's strong.
You got the strong shit. You got the first batch of coffee.
Yeah, because if you didn't pour a lot of water into it, so it didn't dilute it a lot,
Yeah.
So it's strong. But yeah. So this is at least my second go at this, for this episode because we already did one, and I got some standards for this. I got some standards for this, and I don't see it acceptable for me to be too tired to the point, or just, and it's like I'm not tired in the way that like, because my sister's tired. Her and her husband,
Yeah.
they're tired because they got a lot of kids, and that's a lot. I'm tired and just, I can still do stuff physically. I'm just mentally tired.
You're mentally tired.
But I don't want to talk about tired because I'm not right now, and I want to kind of revel in that a little bit. Relish.
What? This sounds like a superhero.
Don't people also say relish in that?
Hmm?
Okay, I for a second I felt like I was crazy.
No, you were
I was
right.
like, I feel like that's what's said, but it also sounds like that's not what's said.
You were right.
All right, relish. But I do got a few topics we want to talk about today. They came up a little bit in just around throughout the day. I was like, okay, you know what, we're gonna talk about that. I gotta start it on on one topic just to transition it, you know. But I do before we get into this, I just want to bring up that this isn't gonna be always me and Mary. I didn't intend on it being
Boo.
Hey, but I don't feel like it'd be good by myself.
Yeah.
I need, you're really good to discuss things with because you give good. You're not just silent. You'll randomly or say something back.
Yeah.
And that's all I see you as.
I'm a great conversationalist. That's why you married me.
I'm a great conversationalist.
I'm a great communist. I'm sorry. I have to.
Starve.
You mean our podcast?
Eat your family. I don't care.
I don't care.
Yeah, just wait until I start reading that book, and I'll really tell you how it was.
Oh, the one about cannibalism?
The Bloodlands?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was about during
He started reading Artemis last night.
So far I like reading that.
It's good, but the chapters are fucking long. Holy hell.
See how big the book is? It's not super big, but it's a big book. But yeah, it's by Artemis. It's by the same author. I said hold on. I said author.
Every day when you're walking down the street.
Yeah. You know how long it took me to not to
You
not establish or, just have that name just completely be associated with that show.
I'm still there, babe.
Yeah, I know, it sucks. How'd you get through Red Dead Redemption?
Because Red Dead Redemption's cool.
That's not cool. I'm just kidding.
Red Dead 2 is awesome.
I know it is. It's a very if you don't okay, if you're listening and you don't give a 2 shits about video games, you gotta at least respect a good story, and
Yeah.
that is a fantastic and I cannot stress this enough, a fantastic story.
Mhm.
That is the best story. If you like a Western, that is it's like,
I don't
oh,
think
hold on. Shut up. You're a great conversationalist, but shut up.
God.
So, when I was younger, I liked to, take my because I had an Xbox when I was, like, in my I was in my early teens, especially when I got the first Red Dead. I liked to take unhook all everything and take it downstairs and hook it up at the family hook it all that up on the family room TV because my mom really liked to watch me play the first Red Dead Redemption, and she was like, it's just like watching an old Western. I love watching it." And it sucks, it makes me sad. I wish she was able to see the second one because she would have been absolutely blown away with how realistic it looks
Yeah.
and the story. And it's like, because that story is amazing. And, yeah, again, if you don't give two shits about video games, you gotta respect the story. And that is a fan is a gr it's a if you watched if you want a good s if you watched somebody play the game with no commentary, just the entire game, the campaigns, the playthrough from the beginning to end, great story. Don't look at it as a video game, look at it as a story. Question class?
No, I was waiting for you to let me start talking before we moved
I'm
on.
not yeah, I was gonna let you talk
Okay.
before we moved on. I was
I
finishing my
don't
piece.
I don't think I had been that emotional about a game since I played The Last of Us, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's very like, I remember when I first played it, and that was when it came out, and has it already 720? Jesus. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, it sucks. Um, when I first came out, and I remember getting to the point where, because when you get to the point where you inevitably know, you start to know, oh, main character you're playing as is gonna kick the bucket here eventually.
Spoilers!
The game came out in 2018. Shut up.
I'm being
It's
goofy.
been a couple
It's a
years.
funny dum dum
Yeah? You gonna
laugh.
call me that again?
Dum
Say it to
dum.
my face.
Dum dum.
Ow! Dong dong.
Soft and tender. Dun dun.
If if you don't know exactly what God, that just sounds like a
It's
schizo,
I really hope you know what we're talking about.
soft and tender. Dun dun. You listen to that without knowing the context. It's like, what the hell was that? It's just noises.
Oh my gosh.
But
Oh.
it's what? What? Okay, whatever. Back to so I don't know how I got in the topic of that. I don't. Oh, because we were talking about Artemis. So that's the. I didn't even say that. I didn't even. I was almost said this the same author as, and I didn't even say it.
You
It's
said
this
because you accidentally said
Arthur, and
Arthur.
that's how we got into Red Dead. But so the same author that wrote the Martian, and the Martian was the first book I ever read to where I lost track of time, and I found out I read what.
Sorry, I did that. I
Oh,
shook my head because I'm trying to not be tired, and I realized our daughter
daughter.
does that.
Yep.
I wonder if she got that from me.
I think she just does that. Yeah, I said that. Um, but that was the first book that I lost track of time reading,
Hmm.
and back when this was my, like, old childhood room, I remember sitting in, like, when I was 16, and I was just reading that book, and 4 hours went by, and I looked at the clock, and it was midnight. I was like, "Holy crap, that's never
Yeah.
happened before," I've never been that invested into a book, like, I was excited to turn the page.
Yeah.
That's never happened. and that's only happened with that book, and I'm hoping that might happen with that book too.
Right.
And, because I just I love the style of
Man, I
writing,
gotta log into our summer reading account
you know?
for the library so we can start logging our minutes.
But,
If that starts tomorrow.
yeah. Uh, yeah. I don't get to read too much, but,
We try to I try
I got
to
I already have a few books on hand that
yeah.
I have to read. I gotta read that book. I gotta read Bloodlands.
We have
Um,
to finish the book that I started
right,
because I got that book because I knew you would like it.
and I also gotta read Flyboys.
Yeah.
And, yeah, that's about, uh, it's, about what would you call it? I guess a flight crew? Air
Mm.
Force, like a crew that's in I'm not sure if it's a bomber, but usually bombers are the ones that have crews, but back in the World War II, that crashed landed on a, an island,
Yeah.
with the Japanese that the Japanese were on,
Mhm.
and, that's also that story gets crazy that I've heard. So, that's one that I'm excited to read as well.
Yeah.
But, but main thing I wanted to talk about here was, I don't know how do we start this? Oh, the book's right there, Flyboys. Um, and
That's Baby by Jimmy Fallon.
no, it's under that. Stupid, dumb, dumb, laugh funny.
Laugh funny. Don't laugh funny. Anyway, do we want to start talking about what we wanted to talk about?
Yes, you
Uh,
sounded like you had something.
Real quick.
Go ahead.
I was really hoping that you would start this off by saying, "I am no longer sick," because if I were to edit that into into the whatever, I was gonna put the Bernie Sanders meme just real quick pop up as a clip. I am no longer sick.
I am no longer sick. Go ahead.
That's
Do
it.
your magic. I'm no longer sick, and I'm not asking.
I'm not asking for what? To be sick?
I'm just not asking.
We demand everything now.
But I wanted to. It came up today in my head that it's like, all right, you know what? You are right. I will finally agree with you. I am judgmental. But
Yeah.
you know why? It's because I I don't hold my standards to just me. You know,
No, yeah, you have high standards and you set them to
I
everybody.
have high standards for certain things. I don't got I don't got super high standards for a lot.
No.
I don't give a shit. Um, but I guess I'm trying to figure out a way to because I feel like if I start this in in the wrong spot, it'll just sound abrupt and abrasive. But so this so okay, because this kind of ties in with that. Uh, I grew up. I grew up with just only with classic rock. Really,
Yeah.
That was my really only music that I was that I was I listened to.
Yeah.
And so, what is that? In 2010s, I'm listening to music that was in the 70s,
Yeah.
and which is if I felt sad because it's like that's 50 years old, and well, it's 50 years old now, but then
Oh,
it was 40.
I was gonna say the math ain't math in there,
Shut up.
Chief.
No, but then it was 40, but now it's
Yeah.
50, which is sad. But it's like, especially one of my most favorite albums is the first album of Led Zeppelin.
Yeah.
Came out in '69. It's like
Mhm.
and that's like growing up with that kind of stuff, and growing up with my first vehicle being at the time when I bought it was 50 years old or 53. Yeah.
Wait, the math still ain't mathin'.
What?
No.
She's thinking. Give her okay. You keep thinking, but
Yeah.
it be what it be. Whatever. It's you
Isn't it?
understand that so my frame of reference for age is completely different than everybody else that I was around. And that's why I don't really give a shit for my generation because I can't relate to anybody about it. I can't relate to anybody about that. There's only a handful of people that also listen to the same. solely primarily listen to that music.
Yeah.
I primarily listen to that music, and it's yeah, over the last few years, my span has widened a lot.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I can credit Mary for that because she first opened me up to it, the first thing I opened up to, because I never knew what I never knew what the category of music was called, but
Yeah.
but alternative, 90s
Rock.
alternative,
Yeah.
and
Alternative rock.
yeah, and that so because I never knew that sound of music was that's what the category was.
Yeah.
So I started listening to that, which branched, it just branched to a bunch of things. Yeah, and I also did grow up to like listening to like the early songs because I remember listening. Not even just listening to them, but just hearing them a lot.
Yeah.
When my parents had friends over and they were playing cards in the dining room
Mhm.
and they're drinking, laughing, having fun, and I'd hear the first few album for like the big songs from the first few albums of
Yeah.
the Black Keys, and which I like more than the recent stuff, but because it just feels more genuine. But they'll like yeah, their new stuff. You give it a listen, it's like it's good, but it's there's something different about the first few their first albums. Yeah, you are acting paranoid as shit.
I thought I heard my phone vibrate, and I was making sure it wasn't my mom.
So looking around like we're about to get attacked. Oh, somebody's
They're in the ceiling. Sorry.
somebody's breaking in.
It's just the ghost, Dick. Settle down.
It's just Jamie. She's coming up to punch us. What are you doing? What?
I said, help with
I'm
the
trying
garage
to.
sale.
This is our day. Damn it! I will get homicidal if we
I
don't have
can't
our day.
with
Our day. But
uh,
so like I'm trying to get simplify this as best as I can because this is just like what
keep talking. I just
this
got
is
the
like
giggle
the
out.
big. This is like the main part of my personality is I base that off of because we live in an old house, old farmhouse. We listen to for our generation old music, but it's not old. It wasn't old to me, since I
Because your parents didn't let you think it was old,
yeah,
because it was
and I know what
still
I feel like that gave me a reference to things to everything to where like I didn't and still now I don't see my dad as old. He's in his mid
no.
50s.
Yeah.
A lot of people, my same age will be like, "That's old." It's like,
Well, kids nowadays will think that we are old.
yeah,
They'll look
and
at you and say,
that's the
"You're
pro-
old."
that's
I just started my life.
like
You're
when I was
old.
their age, I was like, I didn't think that was old.
No, me
I
neither.
thought my grandpa was old, but that's everything under that age, not old.
Right.
And
Grandparents grandparents are the bar of what's old and what's not old.
it's like, well, like, and it's not grandparents, it's just grandparents, but it's like that age where it's most average.
Yeah.
Your average grandparents are, you know, maybe mid 60s, close to 70s.
Yeah.
And that's not, I'm not gonna say old, 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 and it's like it's just you know you're all higher in age.
Yeah.
That's it. You know, and but also it's because my first vehicle is older than my dad,
Yeah.
and so and it's like that. See, here's an example is back where I used to work as well, but Mary was working. She had a coworker, and she was like, I got an old truck. I have an old. You remember that guy? Remember? I drove my
And my first job?
no at Aldi, and he's like, I
I don't.
I drove my like an old truck here today, and you were like, yeah, how old is it? And he was like, it was like in the late 80s. You don't remember that?
I don't know who the hell you're talking about.
And it was in late, and she was like, that's not old, and you're
Because I
like,
still have my 92 Dakota.
no, because you said
No, I know what you're saying, but I'm saying
you
I
had
also still had my 92 Dakota.
94. It was 94.
94 Dakota.
But you were like,
What the hell are you talking about?
"What?" You said, "That's not old." My
No, who the hell are you talking
I don't
about?
know. You didn't know him that long. You didn't like to talk to him, but he just some reason liked to talk wanted to talk to you. It was at Aldi.
Yeah. Huh.
And he wasn't I don't know if he was there long. I wasn't working there anymore.
Okay.
But you were like, "My boyfriend's got a 1964 pickup."
Mm.
That's, and then he was just silent. But, like, the fact that he thought that truck was old,
I think he stopped talking to me after that.
oh, there you go. And, yeah, because if he was trying to flirt with you in a way, and then you completely shit on that,
I probably didn't even realize he was flirting with me.
but he's like, "Oh, I should press her with my old truck," and you were like, "My boyfriend's got an old truck."
My boyfriend's dick is bigger.
And it's not saying that because it's like it's not lifted at all. Fuck off.
No.
That's how it came, but, that's how it was built, but it's like my first vehicle was, is 50 years old,
Yeah.
and
I remember who you were talking
you
about.
now remembered? Okay.
Yeah.
So, given, my music preference, and, uh and that's also partly where my judgmentalness came from, probably, because I looked and I'm trying so hard because I'm trying to figure out why I see it this way, but me, like, my entire family, we're so judgmental about, like, modern music,
Yeah.
and because we listen to, like, the old like, I love listening to, like, 70s funk,
Yeah.
and, it's just like but then if you went from what I listen to all the time, which is, 60s, like, when I was in high school, it was 60s. I was listening to 60s and, like, psychedelic, like, what is it called? Psychedelic lollipop. I loved
Huh.
listening to that. That was that genre.
Hmm.
What the hell is that? Uh, there was one band, and there was only one album I could ever find. Let me try to find it real quick. It's mm, it was. mm, I almost want to say purple, but it's not purple. Let me just look up psychedelic lollipop here, and I guarantee it'll be one of the first ones. And
Oh, I was looking for these. Oh, these are fucked
first
up.
first thing that comes up is psychedelic porn crumpets.
What? Is that a band?
That's a band. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah, it's a
I thought
band.
it was a genre, and I was like, "Mc fucking excuse me?"
Maybe it's in my. Yeah. No, okay. So I'm also on Spotify looking through this, but oh, what was that? Nope.
Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah, I have found that they even have that album.
Spotify's got a lot of shit.
Yeah,
This
that's
is not sponsored.
yeah. No, I know. It's like, and it's funny because if we get to that point, that might eventually be it. Oh, the blue magoos. It's not purple. It's blue. The blue magoos.
The Purple Magoos.
And so the
What's
album
this?
that I, yeah. Oh, it's literally called Psychedelic Lollipop. Okay, 1966.
Nice.
I loved that album when I was
Mhm.
like 16,
Hmm. See, I
and
really wish that, and I know that I say all that because you usually say this, that you wish we would have met sooner. And I always say you would not have liked me because of how awful I was.
no,
But I think
I'd have
we
been
would
fine
have
with
at
you.
least been friends.
I would have been fine.
You think so? I was kind of really egotistical because of my Leo rising.
Nice. Uh, no, I still think that it'd be it'd have been nice to know you as like more than just that, the girl that I met in journalism one time.
You wish you would have gotten to see the more wild me?
Yeah,
The one that you see in all the videos that Stevie and Cheyenne have taken of me?
yeah.
Yeah.
That I would
She was fun.
because I I needed a person like that
Mhm.
because dude, I didn't ever have anybody to bring me out of myself because I was always stuck in my own world because my world was separated from everybody else so
I
drastically
think
because everybody else was so different. They all wanted the new things.
yeah,
They all wanted the different, just newer, and I was like, I don't care about any of that.
yeah,
I had this. When everybody else had a smartphone, I still had a flip phone. You know what phone it is? I can't. It's in this drawer, but it's
yeah,
that slide phone. I had that
yeah.
phone for like 6 years.
I think
And
that's why we worked so well. We not worked, but work so well as a couple because I helped to bring you out of your shell and helped you expand a little more, but you helped me to calm down and see the bigger picture, you
mm,
know? I
and
always joke
that
that you
and that
domesticated me, but you
and
just
that
you just helped me be a better person.
that brings me to my second thing I was gonna talk about was self-awareness,
Yeah,
what I said earlier.
yeah. Wow, that
Um,
was a great segue that I accidentally did.
yeah, there you go. It was self it's and I 'cause I had this thought today, I was like, "Hold on." So, you know how like, everybody is always trying and I'm never gonna say I'm a professional or expert in anything. This is just all personal observation.
Opinions and observations
I'm
and
gonna call them observations
yeah,
because I judge everything by what I see
right.
and
Call it like it is.
not what I hear, but what I see.
Yeah,
And and it's not what I'm shown; it's what I find
right.
because I look for it. I dig for stuff. And, with the time I got and the free time I got, I try to dig for things to find whatever I'm finding, whatever I'm trying to find. And if that's anything to do with events, current events, or if it's I'm trying to figure out how to fix something.
Yeah.
I go to dig for it, I find it. But you know how everybody has always been trying to pin a point on on consciousness, and it's been also a kind of a topic with it since the immersion of AI.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, well, where's consciousness?
At
There
what
is
point are you
there
are
is
you a
no.
conscious being?
It's not a definable point.
Right.
But I figured, you know what? It could be the best definition of consciousness: self awareness.
Right.
When you're self aware, and my entire life, since I've been I've been extremely self aware myself. Like,
Yeah.
I self aware of myself, but no, it's like I've been just like all these things I would always see everybody in my same age do that's so dumb, and I'm like, how'd you not see that coming? Or
Well,
just it's how, or it's like, how aren't you just? It's mixture of like a self awareness and common sense.
right. Well, and it's like and how much of that was your parents actually genuinely teaching you to be a good person too?
Because I
And
was,
you had an older sister to
yeah,
help
because
you.
I wasn't raised as the age I was raised to be an adult.
Right,
I was
like me.
raised as an adult.
Yeah.
I wasn't raised as a 13-year-old when I was 13, 14-year-old, 15-year-old when I was 15.
Right.
I was raised as an adult when I was 13.
Yeah, my mom raised
And
me to be an adult
of
because she wanted to
course,
make sure that I was
it took me a while because as a 13, you're gonna act like a fucking 13-year-old.
yeah.
You're gonna be stupid. You're gonna make stupid decisions. And it's but when I got to the point where I could comprehend more things and I could actually see everything, I could make my own observations on things. That was about when, I was like it was beginning to be when I was like 16. And when I was like 16, 15, I got so extremely political.
Mhm.
I got
I remember you
so
telling me.
political. And I remember when what was it, social economics or something like that.
Mhm.
Uh but it was pretty much politics class.
GovEcon?
GovEcon, there we go. Um, they had us do a political spectrum test.
Yeah.
Guess who scored the farthest on the right
You.
out of the entire class?
You.
And guess who? Every time there was any kind of paper we had to talk about, I would sit up there for 30 minutes. And everybody's like, here comes. And I did that same thing with English.
I think that that's maybe why we wouldn't have gotten along when we were teenagers because I was not a very political person,
No, but I
and
was,
I've always avoided politics.
but the second somebody said something, like made an assumption without knowing anything about it, I like it was like I remember somebody did that because everybody would always kind of like you remember in English we'd have tokens, so some people wouldn't own the conversation. Remember,
No.
were you ever in Mr. Woodcock's English class?
Yeah.
Okay, um,
I don't remember the tokens though.
no,
I don't think we did those.
because we did those, and because we did those weekly articles, and you had a week to do them.
Yeah, we
Remember
never
those?
did the tokens
Oh,
because
okay.
we were all pretty good about
Nobody would
being
fucking
civil.
talk.
No, we would talk, but we were pretty good about taking turns and
Uh,
being conscious about who was talking and who wasn't and not fighting.
yeah, right.
I
All right.
actually had a pretty good class.
All right. So, but we're going to take a quick break right here because this is the end of this segment, and I have no choice for a length past 30 minutes. So,
Bleh.
until we have a different recording software, so
Never.
it's going to come. So,
Never.
yeah, gonna quick break right here. we're back.
Oh, never mind. I can't get you off track.
But yeah, I gotta hold this thought here. So yeah, I realized the error of my ways on that,
Mhm.
and it took me a while because during that class, because it was before that class, I got really political, and but during that class, I just gave up on it because I was like,
Yeah.
I'm so unhappy. I'm so unhappy because I'm angry about things that I have no change. I have no place in even fathoming
Right.
changing.
Well, and
So
it
it's
was
like
probably worse because you were a kid, so it's not like you could go out and
I didn't
vote
have
and shit.
I didn't have any experience in the real world either,
Yeah.
which is the other thing. So I just gave up on it because
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm miserable. And so then that class kind of became uh exhausting because I didn't want any part of it anymore. I was like, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done. I'd rather focus on other things than politics when I'm 16 years old.
Right.
And I remember our teacher, she actually cuz I was like I had no idea what to do, no idea what I wanted to go into, and she was like, "When you're talking about what you're passionate about, you're very good at it." And she said
You get very
and she said,
intense.
why don't you kind of go for a gun for being a politician?" I was like, I don't even like the name politician. I don't
No.
want to be that.
Well, and especially now, it's got such negative connotations to it
Absolutely.
because almost all of them are corrupt.
Yeah, it's like when you hear politician, what do you think of? Like a
Uh,
greasy snake, you know?
Not just a greasy snake, I kind of think of like, pedophile.
I think of like an overweight man in a suit, balding.
You just described Trump. Kidding. I'm kidding.
Described about
I'm kidding.
80% of everybody that's
I know.
got a suit and tie on.
I know. I know.
And but over time, I guarantee if I took the same test, I'd kind of balance in the middle now. Because
Yeah.
because yeah, and back then I was like, I didn't like drugs. I didn't like drugs because one thing I gauged because I didn't I never was like you can't do like
Uh-oh.
when I was younger. It's like if I wanted to drink,
Mhm.
I could probably ask for one.
Right.
So since I had the accessibility and I had no reason or want to leave my house, I didn't party.
Right.
I didn't do any of that stuff.
Me
I
neither.
didn't like to. So as soon as I became legal age, I didn't drink myself to death, and so
Yeah.
because I didn't want to, I didn't. There wasn't like a finally.
No, I mean,
Oh my god! It was like
you would go get stuff for fun and we would keep it in the fridge, but it was like a social drinking and we weren't drinking to get drunk.
yeah, it's like
It was for funsies. I mean,
oh
you
look
went
at
all out for your birthday, but after that, like,
I didn't even
that's
go
it.
all out.
No, 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 no. We stayed at home
It's
and
like
we
I got
drank,
moderate.
which we've talked about before.
I got moderate. Like I wouldn't even say drunk. I've got
No.
moderately buzzed.
Yeah.
And that was it. We
Right.
just had I got to the point where we were sitting in the kitchen and we had fun because we had cooked hot dogs and stuff, and we were just shaking this one hot dog going,
Waving it into each other's
and
faces.
no, we were waving it. We were just wiggling them, and
Yeah.
then it broke and it landed on the ground. We all
Oh
just
my
start
god,
laughing.
because Stevie and I were putting stuff away, and we were watching you guys do that, and everybody fucking lost it when the hot dog broke because we were all kind of buzzed. It was so funny. I'm so
Yeah,
glad she was there for that.
and but like back to and then trying to get back to it, but it's like so now I'm like on a lot of things like they're just like just drugs and stuff. It's like make them all legal. I don't care. I'm not gonna do them. I'm not gonna go out and do heroin if it became legal.
Right. Well,
If
and
you
it's
wanna
like,
do them, go do them. I don't
yeah,
care.
because it's
I'm
like,
gonna
who are we to tell other people what to do with their own bodies?
right, so it's like, I don't really give a shit. I don't
Right.
care. Um, but where the hell was I going with this? But, okay, so, that's the that's how I grew up,
Yeah.
um, and, uh, yeah, this was like I was very angry when I was younger.
Yeah.
So, when I was, like, 16 I was 16, 17. I was angry,
It's those strong Aries placements.
and I'm still angry but I'm angry at different things now.
Yeah.
I'm angry at I'm angry at people that don't understand how much they actually have. So I'm like, you it's like if I could get paid the same amount you do, it would be life changing for me.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And you just don't care. It's like, oh my god, I can't put in my pool today or this year. I didn't make I didn't pull in my two over $200,000 a year. It's like, if I could work and make that much in 1 year, it'd be life changing.
Yeah.
And so I'm I guess what would you call that? Envious now?
I
A
wouldn't
little bit.
call it envy
Or I'm just and it's not
because it's not
jealousy, but it's like I
'cause
just wish you just
well,
knew.
envy and jealousy are the same
Oh,
thing.
okay, okay. But it's like I guess it's just I wish more people were humble, you know? They were humble and they
Yeah.
knew what they knew they just are, grateful for what you're making, and you
Yeah.
understand that the person that you're standing next to is making a fuck ton less than you.
Yeah.
And know what? I'm doing twice the physical, 5 times the physical work.
Right.
And it's like, yeah, and it's, you know, because recently, I'm kind of going real off track here. I had kind of had a weak moment where I had a shit, and we all have shitty days at work.
Everybody's
We
got
all got
shitty
shitty
days.
days at work, and once in a while, and I haven't had one for like a couple years,
Mhm.
and so I had a shitty day at work, and I thought I was under this assumption that I'm the only way to get even to get on the path to my little small little goal that would be minuscule to s- tons of people that are right next to me that already they could buy 6 of my dreams in an afternoon. That's why I'm angry.
Yeah.
It's because you don't even understand. You could buy 6 of my dreams in an afternoon,
Yeah.
and it's like that pisses me off, and I can't. I struggle to get to that dream, and it's and so I had a weekday where I thought I was gonna have to sell everything that made me me.
Yeah.
And I remember a certain someone told me, "Yeah, because I was gonna put all into being a father. I'm just focusing all on being a father." And a certain someone said to me, "To be a good father, you still gotta be Dylan too." And, um, and that was the thing that was hitting me at that moment because I was gonna get rid of what made me me.
Yeah.
The out that old truck that I literally built, like, carved my personality out of, and, like, you know just being just having something so raw and physical that just blatantly said what you are right out there.
Yeah.
It's like, "Oh, I didn't just lift up this fucking I didn't put a fucking body lift on a 2009 fucking
Honda
Dodge
Civic.
or Ram or something like that, and then put tires on it that are wider than they are tall
Yeah.
and make it fucking sound like a jet airliner." No, fuck that shit. I don't want that.
Yeah.
Everybody else wants it. "Oh, I see them as drooling. They're just drooling.
Yeah.
And they all got the same thing. It's like, wow, really? Look at that. That one's the same. That one's the same. That one's the same. And they all sound the same going by.
It's just a Fast and Furious lineup, but
You
less cool.
you hear the whistling, and then you hear those tires going. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And I didn't want that. I wanted tires that hummed
Yeah.
because that was popular in the 70s. And they did
Mm.
that same thing to those trucks. I remember I was talking to my one of my other teachers that was in geometry, um, Mrs. Kosick.
Yeah.
I was talking to her about that. And I was like, because I just recently, because I was like excited, because I was right when I got those tires that are on it now. Because I was like, I don't want tires that people put on things now. I want tires that people put on those back then
Right,
that
so
made
it
them
can fit the
hum. And
vehicle.
she was like, I remember that.
Aw.
She was like, "I remember that when I was in high school.
Hmm.
All the trucks had tires on that made them hum. They didn't go
Yeah.
"Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa," as they go by. They hummed,
Yeah.
and that's exactly what that does.
Yeah.
And everybody thought it was lifted. It's not lifted.
No.
How much did you lift it? I didn't lift it at all. No. No. I didn't lift it at all.
Yeah.
No, I don't have a small Peter. I didn't lift it at all. Those things came that tall. You know why? Because they were made to because that's why they have such a gear. There's a creeper gear. And you put it in that and you could literally walk it as fast as it's moving because they're made to go into you put that into gear in the creeper gear and it's or it's just going down a field and you sit and that's how why the other box that was on it, the other bed was so damaged. I
Right.
guarantee you That thing was used to go down a field, and they were throwing rocks into it. It
Yeah.
is a work truck. Trucks are made to work. They're not fucking made to be flashy.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's why I don't like new ones now, because they're too flashy. I can't imagine throwing rocks into that thing,
Right.
or throwing anything that I need to throw into the bed. It's like it's gonna scratch it.
Yeah.
It's gonna scratch it. Well, what's the point of driving something that you can work with if you're afraid of scratching it like that?
Yeah.
You know, and I'm getting so lost here. But the main thing that I was trying to kind of give a context to of this point's been dragging on for like 45 minutes, is I feel like the self awareness thing is like you need to be aware of what, because there's a lot of people that don't even give a shit what they drive. They're just like, I just need to get A to B. I'm like,
Well, some people can't afford to too.
I mean, but you can still respect your vehicle, you know? Because some people, you can see the ones that don't respect it at all, you know?
Right.
And there's a difference between not being able to and
And
just
just not.
not.
Yeah.
Because and it shows. If it's just absolutely fucking, just it looks like it's been dirty for 5 years. That's different, you
Yeah.
know. If you got one of those skinny spare tires on a car, just because it just recently popped, that's different. You had to put the but it's like, if you leave here's the thing, here's the divider. If you leave that little thin spare tire on your car for months, that's different, because that shit should have been fixed.
Oh,
Those things are meant to get you home,
right.
not to be driven on daily. And I call those wagon rollers because they just look like they're taken off of a wagon. But it's like, so you, I think that there should be a basic requirement in driver's ed. You got to at least know you got to at least know how a car works. Basically.
Mechanic
You
wise.
don't need to be a mechanic,
Right.
but you need to know that the oil goes in the engine, because I've
Not
seen
on the engine.
no, yeah, I've heard and seen, like, just like I've heard of multiple, more than once, of stories of people that were so just ignorant of that. They're like, oh, and they got a 6-quart jug of oil, and it's like they just grabbed one off the wall. Didn't even know which one
Yeah.
because guess what? There's different kinds of oil, and they just opened up the hood and poured oil on the engine.
Hmm.
That point, you're so ignorant of how a vehicle actually works. You're endangering yourself and people,
Right. And what sucks though too is that now,
guarantee, because listen, that oil that's poured on that engine, it's just gonna fucking catch on fire.
right. Well, and it's
It's
like, and it sucks now because we're in a day and age where you can literally look up anything at any time because it's in your
oh, it's
hand.
so easy.
And it is so easy to find answers. And those kinds of people just refuse to do it.
Well,
How are you
it's
going to drive a car and refuse to know how it works? And if you don't know how it works, how are you going to run into a problem and think, "I can fix it myself," but then
like,
not do the
yeah,
research to try to do it?
yeah. Well,
What's wrong with you?
today I heard somebody that didn't even know how brakes worked. They didn't know that 2 pads rub on a disc,
Mhm.
and that's how your car stops.
Really?
It's like, so you're just driving around, you don't even know how the thing stops?
Right. It just stops from your sheer
it's
force
like,
of
"I don't know
will.
how it stops, but I'm just gonna push this pedal and it stops." That's
I'm just
it.
gonna hope it does.
And
Yeah.
it's like, okay, I think there should be a basic requirement when you go through drivers to get a driver's license.
Yeah.
You need to know how to tell if your car has a flat tire
Mhm.
visually, and also from a tire gauge. You
Right.
need to know how to take off a tire. You need to know how to change a tire. If your tire blows,
Yeah.
you need to know just very, very simplistic how an engine works.
When you go through mechanic training, what they teach you for MLR, maintenance and light repair,
Literally,
that kind of shit.
literally,
Literally the most basic shit you
it's
can do for a
and I
car.
wouldn't even say that's needed. You just
No.
need to know how it works. So nobody is pouring oil on an engine thinking that's what it needs.
Right. Oh,
And
I must be thirsty.
also to get rid of the whole people literally thinking blinker fluid exists, you know?
That's usually just a prank on children.
No, I've seen it being pranks on full-grown adults.
Oh, that's just sad.
That's very sad. And I'm sorry, but it's mostly a joke on women, Because a guy will say, "Hey, babe, can you go to the
Can
auto
you go get
store?"
me blinker
They will
fluid?
literally go and try to ask for blinker fluid and come back
Yeah.
pissed. "Why'd you do that to me?" Like, they didn't even know.
Yeah.
Okay, and so just to like how an engine works. Piston goes down, sucks in air, gas is injected, spark, explode, and piston goes up, explosion, piston sends piston back down, the exhaust is forced out. How long did that take for me to describe? 15 seconds.
Yeah. Not even.
You sit there and look at the diagram of that, like a moving diagram of how just simply one piston, how an engine works. That's all you need to know, and you just need to know oil goes into it. If
Mhm.
you want to go and dig into that further, dig into it further.
Right.
But me personally, I think you should make. Okay, so here's the thing. It's like when you have a motorcycle, you got to do that stuff every single time you drive it.
Yeah.
I have to walk. You have to walk around it. You got to check for cracks. Wait, you got to check for cracks. You got to check for flats. You got to check for bulges on tires. You got to check to make sure the suspension's working properly.
Right.
You got to check for the chain to be loose. Because if any of those things are faulty or wrong,
You
a
can't drive
mile
it.
down the road, you're gonna die.
Yeah.
So you're literally forced. If you don't do that, you're gonna kill yourself eventually on a
Right.
motorcycle. And so to properly drive a motorcycle, you have to know how to do those quick checks.
Right.
Why is it not required to like drive a full vehicle? Because if you don't do that and you're just drive because and you know have you ever seen the videos of people just driving and they're literally on a rim on the road? They're on a
Yeah.
rim and they're sparks.
Yeah.
Those people shouldn't exist. That should be completely because that's just every single other person on the road is now in danger because of that car,
Yeah.
that person. And it's like, yeah, again, there's a difference. There is a border. There's a line between not being able to because you're tight on funds.
Mhm.
I'm not saying you gotta fucking modify your car.
No.
You just gotta know how to check it. Check the oil every once in a while. I'm not saying you even gotta change it because guess what? There is a lot of places, there's a lot of services that do that automatically for you.
Yeah.
You just need to know when to do it. You need to know that engine oil needs to be changed. It
Yeah.
doesn't just run forever. There's people that think it runs forever.
Yeah.
And it's
If
and why so and that's the thing. Why is when I was in driver's ed, I didn't need to research a damn thing. It wasn't required.
yeah.
But again, I didn't. I had prior knowledge, but not
Yeah.
everybody has prior knowledge.
Right.
So you need to like
I sure as hell didn't.
yeah,
I didn't
did
I
they
didn't until I took
did they
AutoCAD.
ever mention how an engine works?
No, because their job isn't to tell you how the car works, just for you how to operate the car.
I feel like the basic
All
requirement
their
that should be a
their job is to tell you how to sit in the seat, hold the wheel, and make it go.
I feel like part of driver's ed is you got to respect the machine.
Right.
You got to respect the machine that is the vehicle, and it kind of ties into self awareness, but like also kind of knowing just being grateful for what is literally in front of you, even if it's a shitty Honda Civic. That
Yeah.
is a vehicle that somebody from if somebody from 1920 looked at that, they'd also think it's an alien.
Witchcraft.
It's yeah, but like it's like what the hell? That thing is incredible.
Yeah.
How fast does that go? Holy shit! You know,
Right.
and it's like you barely only get to put gas in it this many times, and it can go this far. And like because a thing that brought this up too is I saw a picture. It was like somebody brought their vehicle. Somebody had to get their vehicle in to a mechanic
Yeah.
because they were like I didn't do anything to do this, and it's like I treat my car with a lot like I treat my car like I don't do anything to do. Their drive shaft was twisted like a pretzel. You know why? Because if they probably didn't have any prior knowledge of what just simply trying to do a burnout with something that can't do
Oh,
it or try is you're just gonna twist the axle.
yeah.
And it wasn't a truck, it was a car. So they weren't I'm like 90% sure they weren't trying to pull something.
Right.
And so they just watch this.
Yeah.
And they just twisted up their rear axle. And it's like so I think it should just be again, you don't need to be a mechanic. You don't need mechanic like a beginner mechanic's knowledge. You just need to know how the thing works so you can respect it a little bit.
Yeah.
Because if you know how it works, you know how every car works. Even if it's a diesel.
Mm.
You know how it's got a combustion. It's got combustion and it's got oil, you know. Diesel's a little different. I'm a little ignorant on that. I never really monkeyed with diesel in my life.
Mm.
But it's like just at least being able to know how to if it really came to it, you knew how to take the tire off. Maybe even
Yeah.
change the pads. Because a lot of people don't know how to change brake pads, and they just ride those things until there's
Changing brake pads is so easy, in my opinion.
yeah,
Doing brakes in auto tech was my
I
favorite
hate
part of
brakes.
doing auto tech. I loved doing brakes. I loved doing brakes, let me tell you. I love
I hate
changing the
brakes.
caliper, I love changing rotors, I love changing the brakes,
They always
everything
fight
about the
me.
brake system.
They always
Mhm.
fight me. It's never easy. It's
Yeah.
never just simply take this off, change this, put it back on. It's fine.
You know what's funny? I
It's
also
always there's it's always it like either the cylinder and the piston doesn't go down
yeah,
or the pads won't slide in even with new hardware into the
yeah,
caliper.
and, like
They just won't slide in, and if they do, they go and they get crooked, and then I can't put them back on the rotor because it's not enough space.
yeah.
Just fucking give me a break here. I hate brakes. I'd
Get
rather
it? Give me a break?
I can't even breathe. That was so funny. But it's just like, and and this also ties into another thing I thought about. This is like, not enough people look up at the sky, even in daytime,
Yeah,
but mostly at nighttime. Like, because it's funny because I'm a fucking nerd, but I am just all physical work, and
mhm.
my hobby is working on cars and
I
stuff.
love that about you.
But I am obsessed with space,
Yeah,
and I'm not gonna say I'm extremely smart. I can't tell you how everything works.
right.
I can't tell you exactly what every chemical in the atmosphere of every planet is.
No,
I can't even tell you I can't off the top of my head tell you, what moons are part of either Saturn or Jupiter, but it's like,
yeah,
you know, not enough to the point where, like, if I because it's like, if I, like, wow, just look up at the sky. That the sun is literally there every day. Just think about this. That is a fucking star.
mhm.
All the dots you see in the sky, those are all those. They all range from sizes. And believe it or not, there's one out there that is take the sun and you know imagine how big, how far away that thing is from us, and you see how big it is in the sky.
Yeah,
Imagine if we were up close and we didn't burn up immediately. Imagine
right.
if we were up
Imagine if
close.
we were on Mercury or Mars.
Mercury.
Mercury.
Mars is the next planet away from the sun from us,
Gotcha.
but it's the second close. That's why we're currently trying to get there right now, because it's the planet that is literally closest to us. Otherwise, I don't know why we try to
Right.
go to Venus, um, but it's not too hot. It's cold, but it's
Yeah,
not, and but it's further away from the sun, and but it's like, if we are able to be up close, imagine how big, monstrously big that thing is. You
yeah,
can't even comprehend how big the sun is.
right.
Guess what? There's a star out there. I forget what it's called. It's like
It's bigger than the
it's
sun,
I
right?
think it's called, is it called Beetlejuice?
That'd be funny.
Star. I try to search these, and it's so dumb how I try. It's like star Beetlejuice. Uh, Fuck off. Every time I try to type in stuff, there it is. Okay, let's see how big this is. So
Wow,
this,
it's spelled the same too.
yeah,
It's spelled like Betelgeuse.
Betelgeuse, yeah, and the distance to Earth 642.5 light years, which
How many years is a light year?
it's how. See, this is the other thing. I'm not an I'm love and obsessed with space, but there's certain things I never can remember off the top of my head. It's the distance it takes for light to travel. That's why it's called
Oh,
a
I
light year.
know.
But um, I forget how long that is. Yeah, guys, I apologize, but so uh, it's it,
1 light year is 10 to the 12th power miles.
ten
So
to
10, 12 times.
10 with 12 zeros behind it, miles.
Yeah.
The nearest solar system to us, Alpha Centauri, is 4.2, I believe, right off the top of my head.
Oops.
You know that 4.2 light years. And I did this for one of those weekly articles we did. Because I just went over.
Oops.
I didn't just make an article about what I observed in that article that was given to us for the week. I was like, I went to did I was like, what is our fastest craft? How fast can you go? And I was like, given this, because it was talking about Alpha Centauri and how it, like us getting there.
There we go. That's
And
what I was looking for.
I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go further. I'm gonna find what our fastest spacecraft is. Yeah, it's 10. It's yeah, 10 with 12 power, 12 zeros behind it.
Yeah. What number is that? How do you pronounce that?
Let me see. Is that 12 zeros?
Yeah.
Okay. 100,000 million billion trillion.
So a trillion miles?
1 trillion.
Jesus
Yeah, yeah.
Christ.
Is that 10 to 12 power or is that 1 to a 12 power?
That's 10 to the 12th power. I will
Okay.
show you how I typed it in too.
Um,
See that bottom one? 10 to the 12th
okay.
power.
Yep.
I
So
literally use
it's
like
like
an algebra calculator.
so and you know how can you fathom how big a billion miles is?
No.
Can you fathom how big a
I
million
can't even
miles?
fathom $1 billion, let
Yeah.
alone a billion
Yeah,
miles.
if you took $1 bills and stacked them a billion of them, you ever see those like those like comparisons
No.
at all? Like it's like $1 billion comparison. Sorry, this
Um,
is like a pause comparison.
oh.
And well, comparison cartoon, I guess. I guess would it be a cartoon? Yeah, it'd be a cartoon. Here you go. This is the exact one I was thinking of. I wish I could we had camera and I could stream this to the thing.
We'll get there.
We'll get there. But okay, so if you wanted to join me on this, type into Google $1 billion comparison cartoon. The first one that pops up, look at that roll, $10,000,
Yeah.
$1 million. It's a
Mhm.
small stack. $1 billion.
Mhm.
It is one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight pallets of those rolls of $10,000. That's $1 billion. So take the $1 billion and or okay, and then take a try to compare that to just like
Sorry.
miles.
You said take $1 billion, and then you said take that or whatever again, and it made me think of
Don't
that one video where it's like, I would like 3 Whoppers, and then
yeah.
I would like 3 more Whoppers. So take $1 billion and then take $1 billion more dollars.
But yeah, so take
Sorry,
like
continue.
um it's just like yeah, I know you can't even fathom a million miles.
No.
You can't even fathom so then you multiply that by 1,000.
How
Then
many miles around is the Earth?
God damn it, why do you gotta ask me these
I'm
questions I
so
can't answer off the top of my
sorry,
head?
I'm so sorry. I gotta know. I gots to know.
But keep an eye on it is the Earth's diameter is 700 or 7,917 miles or zero point 0.5 miles
Okay.
in
Huh.
diameter.
Well,
And so
that's just from the middle across. That's not like
that's
all the way around.
wait, is diameter is I'm
Because
thinking of radius, isn't
isn't
it?
the diameter 2 radiuses? Because the radius is half, but then diameter is 2 of them across, right? Or am I not remembering geography?
No, it's diameter.
I didn't mean geography, I meant geometry.
It's diameter. I was right. You made me second guess myself, and
I'm so
this is
sorry.
literally part of my job. Is I got to know what fucking diameter and radius is. Come on, why do you got to make me second guess myself?
I'm dumb.
But
Why would you trust me?
yeah, the surface area, all the surface area of the Earth is it's all of it.
Yeah.
So if you just stretched it out, you just unfolded it,
Yeah, yeah.
it is 196.9 million miles. So then the entire
So
Earth.
we can't even fathom 1 billion
I
miles
can't
on the
even
Earth because the Earth isn't that
I
big.
can't even comprehend how big the Earth is if you stretched it out like that.
No.
And you flattened it out and to where it was 196.9 million miles.
Yeah.
I can't even okay, I can comprehend 1,000 miles, like traveling like in the continental US,
Right.
but it's
Every time you say flatten the Earth, I think of when I did do geography with I forgot her name. Um but she to have us see why a map is flat, she had us take oranges and then peel them and then flatten out the peel.
and it's like and that's
And she
what
was like, and that's why the map is a little distorted.
and that's why the Greenland looks so massive, but it's
Right.
not, you
It's
know.
just because you can't flatten a curved object and have it be properly displayed.
Yeah, it's all distorted. You can get proper maps though where it's not distorted. They
Right.
just look weird.
Yeah.
But it's like you actually have a proper representation of what the Earth's like sizes of the land masses are.
Yeah.
Um, but okay, we'll jump right back into that after this
Yeah.
this end segment here.
Mhm.
It's funny when you're invested in what you're talking about, these things fly by.
Yeah, we just have to keep in mind we don't have a lot of
I
time
know,
left.
I know. I miss our daughter. So okay, we're gonna end this segment. Be right back here. Man, you know, I don't know if I don't want to restate things. Restate things that was like I already don't remember how I ended the last segment here. Um, did I mention how it's like when you're talking about something, you just fly?
Yeah,
Did I
yeah,
say that in this
yeah.
last? Okay, guess you already heard that. But to finish off the thing with that Beetlejuice star or Betelgeuse, whatever you pronounce
I
it.
don't think it matters.
Um, it's a super giant, and when it's a super giant,
Yeah.
so the radius of it. This is the radius, not even the diameter. It's 383.4 million miles.
So if you were to double that, that's the diameter.
Uh,
Because the diameter is radius squared, right?
yes. So if you compare the star of Betelgeuse to the sun,
Oh, wow. I can kind of see it past
so
your microphone.
this is okay. So
Well, that's a
Beetle,
different star.
this Betelgeuse, I never heard of that one.
No, that one's
Holy fuck!
bigger. Where's ours?
You know where the sun is?
Hold on, I'm coming to you.
It's a dot. It is
That's
a
ours?
it is a dot. So you know how big our sun is? If we were next to
Wow.
it, doesn't that give you chills almost?
Yeah, that wasn't your sister.
I don't think that was. Um, so it's like if you know how big our sun is,
Yeah.
if compared to Earth, you could fit like 100 Earths, 1,000 Earths. I think it's 100. Sorry,
Look it up. I'm kidding. Kidding.
it's either 100 or it's 1,000. I can't. Again, I'm not an expert. I don't study this stuff, so it's like I wish I took that path. What I wish I knew that was what I was seriously passionate, like really passionate about.
1.3 million Earths fit inside the sun.
Million? Oh fuck, I was off. Um, so
The
one point.
sun's volume would need 1.3 million Earths to fill it.
So that's how big our sun is. Betelgeuse compared to our sun is a dot, a speck. It's a speck, and I don't want to butcher it. How do you pronounce that other star? Antares? Antares? Antares?
Antares?
Antares is bigger than Betelgeuse,
Yeah.
and it's like
And look how big it jumps too from the other one.
you know how big our see how it's a
Yeah.
speck. Betelgeuse is about 7.5 thousand to a 14,000 times brighter than our sun. Betelgeuse is also one of the largest stars visible to the unaided eye. No telescope. It's about 700 times the size of the sun and around 15 times more massive. And that those two stars would completely engulf our solar system.
Yeah.
The star is bigger than our solar system.
Right.
So, just given that.
Where are those?
Uh, hold on. Beetlejuice. It said.
We could make a whole different segment about
Oh,
space stuff where we just
I
go
would
on and on
love
and
to
on.
go on about.
I was kind of hoping
I
that
have
we
so
would
mu-
today.
I have so much vague knowledge of space, but not any spot on
Why
perfect
don't we do it the
exact.
next time?
We'll do it
Next
next time
episode,
too.
yeah.
We'll do it next
Because
time.
I also love
It-
space.
Constellation Orion. You could find it in Constellation Orion, but
The
it is
star?
the star
Oh, because it's not a
Betelgeuse.
sun, it's just a star.
Yeah, it's a star.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all
So
stuns, but
yeah, I was gonna say because what
it's
makes
the
our sun a sun?
it's
It's just
well,
the
you
title,
can also
dumbass.
listen to this. You can also find it because it's usually the 10th brightest star in the night sky.
Huh.
It's one of the 10 brightest stars.
Okay.
And
Antares?
Betelgeuse.
Oh, okay.
Probably Antares is up there. It's bigger than Betelgeuse. I
Right.
guarantee it's
Where's
brighter.
Antares?
Um, let me find it. Uh,
I really hope we're pronouncing this right.
if I'm
If we're not, correct us.
oh my god,
Where's that?
the radius of Antares is 293.96 million miles. That's a radius.
Yeah.
Uh, I don't know how they age. See, that's the kind of shit that's like I wish I knew how they figured that out. They figured out the
Yeah.
age of that star. It's like I know it's
I know there's a way, I just don't
well,
remember
it's
what it
like
is.
because they run on fuel. They
Yeah.
can tell roughly like a couple million years our sun's gonna burn out. It's
Right.
gonna either collapse or it's gonna expand to a
Yeah.
red giant, and it's gonna engulf Mercury and Jupiter, and Mercury, not Jupiter. It's gonna engulf Mercury, definitely.
Yeah.
It might engulf Venus, and it may engulf Earth, but it, it'd get so big it'd burn up Earth. Earth would turn into a
Right.
rock. So, and that's a couple million years. So there you go. We got that's our span of time for the human race to leave the planet.
Yay.
Um, yeah, if you want to, and I feel like that's the stuff that a lot of people just need to know because like it would humble you.
Yeah.
This is what I was getting back
Where
to.
is that?
Oh, so sorry, I got off track. Constellation Scorpius.
Oh.
I can click on it. There you go. In astrology, Scorpius or Scorpio is the eighth sign in the zodiac, considered as governing the period from about October 24th. Holy shit, that's spot on my birthday.
Yeah, because remember your sister was saying you're a,
I'm a
Scorpio Libra cusp,
Yep,
even
and
though technically there's no cusps, but
shut up. To about November 21st,
mhm.
its representation as a scorpion is related to the Greek legend of the scorpion that stung Orion to death,
Yeah.
said to be why Orion sets as Scorpius rises in the sky.
Because Orion's running away from it.
Oh, look at
He
that.
doesn't get stung
If you
again.
see the constellation Scorpius,
Mhm.
you can see exactly which star in the constellation right there. If you look,
We're
okay,
gonna
so
have to look at the sky more this summer.
there was an app that my dad
Oh, wait,
well,
that would be October-ish.
hold on. There's an app that my dad showed me a long time ago, and I guarantee you there's a lot better versions of it now.
Yeah.
But this was like early 2010s, and he showed me on his smartphone. He's like, "Look at this app. I can look down, and it should literally like use your camera, and
You know what? I remember him showing you that.
it uses it's okay. So it may have been later, but it uses the gyroscope in your phone
Yeah.
to, or not gyroscope, but it can tell pretty much
Yeah.
where you're facing, and you use your camera and you can look in the sky and it'll literally draw out exactly where the constellations are, and you can
Oh,
click on
that's
it. You
awesome.
could click on any star in the night
What
sky
is
and it
that?
would bring up that star, and you could literally read about it. I want to find that app or an app like that.
I
So I could literally
remember
just look up, I'll be like, holy shit, what's that one? And you look up with that one and you click on it. And then it tells you the star. Or and it tells you what's around it. If there's anything around it, it tells you where it's at. And it's like, and so
do you remember Stargazers at all? The
yes.
PBS
Yep,
show?
yep.
Okay.
Because it was right after Red Green. And
Yes.
we're good
My mom and I would watch Red Green, and then we would watch Stargazers, and then I would go to
every
bed,
time. Yep, me too.
and it
Every
was
time.
awesome.
I
I
loved
miss are
I
they still
loved watching it.
going?
No. Maybe. No, yeah,
Let's find
I
out.
think it is. But yeah, there you go. So an Ataris, if I'm pronouncing it right, is located in
That show started in '76.
damn.
36 seasons.
Uh that star is
Hmm.
located in the constellation Scorpius. Um come on, go away. Okay.
I forgot about Nova. Oh, my mom and I also used to watch Nature. I
Yeah, they
loved
even got the
Nature.
coordinates of exactly where the star is too. But Antares is the brightest star in the constellation of Scorpius. So yeah, if you see that constellation, it is the brightest star in that
Yeah.
constellation. It has the Bayer doesn't has the Bayer designation a Scorpii.
What?
I hope I'm pronouncing that right. A Scorpii.
Scorpii.
Scorpii. Okay, so there's two. All right. Which is Latinized to Alpha Scorpii, often referred to as the heart of the scorpion. Antares is flanked by a Scorpii. Or O? What is that? I don't even recognize that lettering. It's like an O with a line on top of it. But
Oh, I don't even
it's
know.
not a Spanish O, but it's like a
Latin.
yeah, I guess it'd be a land. It's the center of the okay, that's just telling you it's the center of the constellation. I was
Yeah.
actually wanted to know about the star, but it's it's massive. It's actually closer to us than Betelgeuse is.
Hmm.
But I wanted to put that into perspective. That star right there is 554. Okay, it's 554.5 light years away.
Yeah.
So the closest solar system to us is Alpha Centauri,
Mhm.
and it's 4.1 or 2 light years. So it's like considerably less.
Yeah.
That tells you that shit is far away.
Yeah.
You know how long it'd take for our fastest craft if we could just set it off to get to that only travel 4.2 or 4.1 light years?
How long?
Thousands of years.
Hmm.
It'd take thousands.
Yeah.
And if we just didn't have if we couldn't go extremely fast,
Mm.
I think it would take I can't remember but if you know, you know. But it's a you already know, but it's like it's long, long fucking time.
Yeah.
And it would just generations and generations have to live on some kind of giant ship just to get
Mhm.
there.
Yeah.
If with our current technology. But it's and I feel like that's the things that like a lot of people just need to look up at it's like and it sucks because if you're in a city you can't even see the night sky. But if you just need to look up there and just know. And because it also kind of humbles you too.
Yeah.
You're just a speck. Don't like because it keeps you for your ego from getting too big, depending on whatever the hell you do. And it's like, yeah, whatever the hell you do. If you're just a slave to a company, but it's like, and you let your ego to get the best of you. But if you just sit there and just look up at the night sky and you see, and you look at everything and know how expansive it is and what you're actually looking at, what you're seeing
Yeah.
is just endless. It's endless and just light and just giant balls of burning gases
Yeah.
up there. They're so unfathomably far away. And it's like, you know, it just makes it's like nothing else matters.
Right.
But I'm not saying that in a depressing kind of, oh, we're all specks and dust, nothing matters. I'm just saying it's like, you know, I can't wait for my I can't wait for my daughter to be to the age where she can I could show her that night sky and she can kind of not I'm not gonna say comprehend it, but like she'll see it and she'll think about it.
Yeah.
And you know,
You know what's awesome?
ask the simplest question.
Yeah.
You know, like how big is the moon? You know, just
Mm.
simple questions. You know, where'd the moon come from?
Yeah.
You know, and I could tell her because we have a relative idea where the moon came from. You know,
Yeah.
do you know?
I used to.
So like before the Earth was an Earth,
Yeah.
and um, it was just big rock and other big rock. You know, another big rock. People have also thought it was like maybe it was another planet that hit that rock,
Oh.
and half of it broke off, and so it made Earth now. But it's just a rock. Then it just fucking it boiled it. It just made it so hot because the
Right.
explosion from that collision, and set it spinning, and then from it spinning creates the gravitational pull, the magnetic pull,
Yeah.
and it doesn't create it, but it's like it just from it spinning, it encouraged that break off because after that, I guarantee you there was debris just surrounding it all the
Yeah.
time. So it probably had some relative kind of ring, but then it all went to the moon. It all went to that chunk that was floating around. Is fixed. It's not spinning. That's why we always see the same face as the moon. It doesn't spin,
Yeah.
and that just orbits. That orbits, and it's been orbiting for so long.
Mhm.
And that is a very, very uneducated crash course on how the moon is there. But
Yeah.
it's better than saying, I don't know. I feel like you shouldn't have to say, I don't know.
Yeah.
But like when I've just tried to like say, just stop and think what, like the sun up there. Like how I first started this topic, this point, the sun up there, that is a star.
Yeah.
It's not just our sun that we see every day, comes up every day, sets every day. It was a star. All those lights you see in the sky is also stars.
Yeah.
That is a star. And it's right next to us.
Yeah.
That is literally like the reason why we're here. The
Yeah.
reason why fucking plants grow. And it's been like that for millions and millions of years.
Yeah.
And it's like, just put that in, like, stop and think about that. Just think how fascinating it is. And the people that say, yeah, oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah, yeah, and it just kind of floats over them.
Yeah. Or the people that don't believe in space.
No, they're lost, it's like oh, yeah, I'm just gonna completely delete myself from the conversation because I have nothing to talk to you about, and
I
uh,
mean, never mind.
and it's but it's like I feel so sad for you
Yeah.
because that means there's something else you see way more important than knowing what, or just
Themselves.
and then just slightly. You don't gotta be a genius at it.
Yeah.
Just slightly educate yourself about it. Go, huh? Like just to go, huh? I wonder what the biggest star is. Type in the biggest star, and then you start looking at it. I'm like, Oh, how big is that to us? Or how big is that to the sun? Do, 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 do,
Yeah,
what we
I
just
wish I
did.
was still able to
What
have
what
the
what 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 we just did, and then you go, "Holy shit.
yeah,
Oh my god." And then you go, "Oh, how far away is the nearest solar system? Doo, 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 doo. Oh, it's like this far. How long will it take us to get there? Doo, doo, doo. Thousands of years.
yeah,
Oh my god." And then you see how far that big star is, and it's like, I can't, that is so far
yeah,
away. And then it just, not everybody, but to me personally, it just grabs me.
yeah.
It's like, "Oh my god, I want to learn everything about this."
I wish
And
I
it's,
was still able to have the NASA app on my phone because I remember I first
oh, I
downloaded
still
that.
have it.
I can't though, is what I'm saying.
Oh,
Um, and I wish I was because I liked having that piece of conversation to have with you and I learned something and it was like, I don't know, it was nice, but
and you
now
get,
my phone
and you,
doesn't have the space on it, so I
yeah,
can't.
and you get, and I wish more people took like space exploration to like seriously,
Mhm.
because it's like, that stuff's interesting.
Yeah.
That stuff's really interesting. And I know a lot of people right now are so afraid of AI. And it's like, I feel like that shit's gonna do the heavy lifting for us. Yeah, it's scary if we don't do stuff right with it, because it can just kind of run rampant.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's here. It's not gonna go away now.
Yeah.
The fact that it exists now, it's not gonna go away. We might as well. And I heard that opinion somewhere, and it's like, you might as well embrace it. It's like, that's kind of a rational way to look at it.
Yeah.
Might as well embrace it. It's not gonna go anywhere. We can't
Right.
just get rid of it now. Everybody can't go no more, and it's gonna go away. It's fucking here now, and it's like, might as well give it some work. And it's like, I guarantee you, that shit will be the stuff that does all the heavy lifting that gets us into space, you know? Because it's the only way we can actually genuinely get to space. Me personally,
I
with a
think
vague
I
knowledge,
spaced out for a second. What are you talking about?
AI and doing all the heavy lifting to get
Okay,
us to
thank
space.
you.
Because
I
instead of
literally just missed you saying
instead
the
of a
word
bunch of
AI.
people trying to figure out, like, by, personally doing, I guess by hand, but like, all the calculations,
Yeah.
that thing can do them so fast. And you could probably, it wouldn't give you a good answer, but
Yeah.
it could give you something. If you literally just went to Chat GPT and asked, how would we how would we truly leave or become a spacefaring race, it'd
Yeah.
probably give you something weird and abstract,
Yeah.
but it'd give you something instantly.
Right.
If As soon as that stuff becomes so effective and advanced, and you could literally ask it and it would do all the calculations and double check some of them.
Yeah.
The people that are really smart and they could do that, and I give you full respect if you can do that kind of stuff, because that's genius to
Yeah.
be able to do that kind of, you just calculations. But because it's all physics and it's all just, yeah, and
Yeah.
stuff. It's a lot of like that deep physics stuff. I am very infatuated with, but I'm not on that level. But I wish I was. I wish I
Yeah.
was, and I wish I put so much effort in. I wish I put enough effort into that. And I knew I was so passionate about this kind of stuff when I was in high school. I would have driven for it.
I remember you were trying to figure out what you wanted to do, and I suggested it, and you thought that you weren't smart enough for
I'm
it.
not smart enough for it. Because
You can't say you wish you would have, and then that
well,
you're
because
not smart enough for it in
because
the same sentence.
yeah, because I wish I would have put more effort when I was kind
You're
of,
smart enough. You just have to believe you're smart enough.
mathematics is my weakness. And that is literally the fundamental of
That's
all of that.
whatever.
But I'm good at geometry, which doesn't make sense, but
That's mathematics.
I know. I'm good. I
That's
was
not
good.
mathematically
Hold on. I was
possible.
good until algebra 1, and that's when it started to lose
See,
me.
it's funny that we're opposites in that way because I could not do geometry to save my fucking
I
life.
was helping
And
people. I was
I
helping people in my class with it.
I thought algebra 1 and 2 were fun. I liked doing algebra. I enjoyed doing algebra.
I would treat it completely differently now. I'd see it, I guess I got in the mindset it was useless.
Algebra?
Yeah. And
Well, I mean, it
I got
kinda because
it kind of was
unless you have
for
a
me.
specific job you're going for that requires it, you don't really need it in
See,
everyday life.
astronomy, that would require it,
Right.
or just being a astrologist or something
Whereas,
like
like,
that, you know?
geometry, you use that in almost any blue collar trade.
I know, I use it now,
I know.
and it's like to find surface area and stuff, all
Right.
that, and but, because if I knew that's what I yeah, I know, and if I knew that's what I wanted to do, I would have put more effort into it
Yeah.
because I got in the mindset where I saw it was useless. It
Right.
what didn't apply to my life. But seeing what I wanted to do, I would have seen it differently. I would have looked at it like this applies to this. I have to learn it. I got to
Yeah.
learn this. But as soon as they started bringing letters into math, I was like,
I think
"How
that's
what
what
is
was
this?"
fun for me is I
I didn't
enjoyed
like
finding out what the letters were.
I
It was
didn't.
a little mystery. It was a little fun little challenge.
See, if somebody told me that nobody told me that way. Nobody explained it to me like you
Nobody
just
ex
said it. And
I explained it to me that was just the way I personally saw it. Nobody ever said that to me. That
I
was just
wish
my
I
personal
wish you
viewpoint.
told me that. You explained it to me that way. I would have
I
probably
didn't
went,
even know you.
"I know." But I'm just saying that.
Yeah.
If somebody told me the exact way you just described it, I would have probably went, "Oh,
A
yeah.
fun little mystery.
I gotta find out what the hell that little number
Where'd the little devil go?
well, I gotta find what that little X
Who
is."
is
And
he?
it's like I love how the other episodes are all funny and stuff. This is all just about you know.
Yeah.
But I wish somebody told me it that way,
Yeah.
and so I would have seen it differently like that. And
Yeah. I
you
got
know,
you.
and I kind of feel like I'm only 23. I could probably try to rekindle
Oh,
some of
absolutely.
that.
There's still
I'm
time.
not going to be able to be a fucking astrologist, astrologist, astronomist.
Astronomer.
Sorry,
Because
what?
astrology
Yeah,
is
it's what
is
you it's what
zodiac stuff.
yeah.
It's what
I
I
get those
do.
mixed, but um, because they're so close, kind of.
Yeah.
But
It's
it's
very important to know the difference.
yeah, and um, I kind of use meteorologist is weather, and then which
Yeah.
also something I wanted to go into. I didn't want to be a meteorologist,
Right, but weather.
but 'cause
Weather's cool.
I was so obsessed with tornadoes. I loved them.
I'm afraid of them.
They're fucking
We can
terrifying.
make that a whole other episode too, is
Yeah,
weather stuff.
I'm terrified of them. They're fucking terrifying,
Yeah.
especially at night. If you can't even see it,
Yeah.
but you can hear it, fuck that. That is my worst nightmare.
Yeah.
And
You should watch Twister again.
I grew up on that movie. I
I know you
fucking love
did.
that
Bill
movie.
Paxton.
No, it's Twister. It's not all about Bill Paxton.
No, it's just Bill Paxton.
Oh, Twister. It's actually if you peel the label off Twister, it just says
It's
Bill
just
Paxton.
Bill Paxton. I remember my boss at Guitar Center didn't like Bill Paxton.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that.
Yeah.
But it's just like that kind of stuff. I was obsessed with tornadoes when I was 8 years old.
Yeah.
I loved them, and and it's funny because I'd watch so many tornado videos. Anytime there was a bad storm, I'd come outside and be like, "I know exactly what's gonna happen. Look at those clouds; they're moving in this way." I felt like I was
That's so
so smart
funny.
because I just all I did was watch them. All I
That's
did
so
was watch
funny.
those, and I saw the patterns of how clouds move to where they're so I never overreacted when I thought clouds are spinning. Oh my god, clouds are spinning. But it's like I one time they were and they were right there.
I
It
remember
was right there. And I
yeah.
was like, I don't want to sound like I'm overreacting, but those clouds are spinning right
When
there.
was that? Because I remember that there
We
was
were
a
not
tornado.
here. We were not together.
No, I know, but when was that? Because I still lived in town, and I remember when we lived
This was
in that little
this was
suburb
a different
area.
time because
Can I finish what I'm
that
saying?
wasn't a confirmed tornado. So this
I
was a different
know.
time.
Can I finish what I'm saying?
Nope.
Get the fuck
It's
out.
just a joke, funny,
Oh my
stupid
god.
butthead,
But when
dum
we
dum.
lived in the suburbs, I remember we were not suburbs. It's not a suburbs, but it's like a gathering of houses.
It's the
When
suburbs
we lived in that little area, um,
gathering
we
of
were
houses.
outside and I remember we started seeing a tornado form right above the school because I lived across from the school. And I dead ass was like, maybe the tornado will take out the school and we won't have school tomorrow because I was like 13, maybe 12. And it got like halfway there and then stopped.
That's funny.
It like didn't
That's
happen. I was like, ah!
that's every kid's like dark dream.
I
What if the
was so
school blows
pissed.
up? I've got to go to school. Yeah, who? Ah, who?
It's funny.
The school burnt down. Our whole town is like in shambles. The school's
Yeah, but no
gone.
school.
13-year-old, 12-year-old, like no
Yeah.
school. Everything was burnt to the ground. No school.
Yeah.
um, but it's I do remember when there was a tornado and stuff like that. But that's a whole different thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just they don't happen that often here, but they do happen. You know, somewhat frequently.
Yeah.
Somehow have been fortunate enough to miss us all times. And but yeah. I don't know if I didn't fully cover any topic here.
It's okay.
I meant to go in a different direction after the vehicles but I ended up not.
Yeah.
I started on a couple, but bleh.
Can you say goodbye?
Goodbye. All right, but yeah, this is getting close to 3 segments here, and uh, I gotta go pick up our daughter. I miss her. I didn't see her enough today, but I still got stuff to do, which sucks. So
You do?
yeah, I gotta check over my bike so I can ride it
Oh,
tomorrow.
yeah.
I got it out, but I gotta check over it just
Yeah.
to make sure it's not like I said earlier. It's not gonna fall apart. Something's not gonna kill me because it got loose or loosened up a mile down the road.
Mhm.
So yeah, this is a. I like this one.
Yeah, this was a good take.
I like this one because we talked about stuff. I looked up some stuff. Definitely feel like we didn't. I could talk about this stuff for 4 or 5 hours, and because I didn't even touch on black holes.
That's a whole different thing.
That's a whole different thing. But it's something that's I'm infatuated with it. It's like
That's the topic that got Dylan and my grandma kind of in a tiff.
yeah, I wanted to bring that up. I was like, so I talked about something. I was like, oh, did you know about this? And she was like, space isn't real. And I was like, I stopped talking. I was like,
I was
I can't even talk
I
about what
was
I'm
what,
excited
like
about.
4 months pregnant, and
Yeah.
I was sick, and I was like, "I'm not doing this." So I
And
went to the bathroom, and I
and
come back, and they're arguing
and
about the Earth being round.
I was like, "Do you even know here?" Because do you even you the one thing I don't the one thing I tried to stump her on. I was like, you know what, pilots and snipers got to deal with. They got to calculate the rotation of the Earth
Yeah,
when you're shooting a target like a mile out. I don't know if it's a mile. I can't remember what time it was. The longest
yeah.
target's
Is it
been
the curve or the rotation?
the rotation.
Okay.
Literally, because the time the bullet is in the air, the Earth is rotating.
Well, yeah, because 'cause we're going so fast.
Yeah, but it's rotating.
Yeah,
So the bullet leaves it, and it's not being affected by Earth whatsoever. So the Earth's spinning, but the bullet's still going. Even if it's not miles and miles, it would still, if you don't put that calculation in, you're gonna be a couple inches off,
yeah. You're gonna
and you're gonna
barely miss.
miss.
Yeah.
You're gonna miss, and it's like again, if you want to look it up, I can't remember off the top of my head. And I don't got
It's
enough
got a
time.
certain
It's
name.
got a name, and it's something effect. I can't remember what's off the top of my head, but they have to calculate for that, and so do pilots in trajectory for plane travel.
Pilots, yeah.
Yeah, because they travel in a curve. They don't travel if they traveled in a straight line. You would
You'd
end
get in
up
the
in
wrong destination.
you'd end in the wrong spot
Yeah.
because the rotation of the Earth. Hence,
That's why
ugh,
if you're going, w with the rotation of the Earth instead of
that's
against it,
why
it's
it's
gonna
curved.
take you longer to get there.
Yeah, that's also if you're going. It's also how yeah if you're going against the rotation. That's the time difference is so
Yeah,
drastic. It takes long or it takes shorter time to get to the
if you're
destination
going against.
if you're going against, but if you're
Yeah.
going with, it takes longer.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
Yeah. But whatever. This is the end of the
This is the
segment,
end.
finally. Don't get me hung up on another topic.
Okay.
We don't got
Go
time for that
go get
shit.
our kid.
We gotta go get our kid. And yeah, and this is got long enough. So
Yeah.
all right. And I hope you enjoyed this one. And I hope if you didn't have any interest in space or things out
Ow.
there, maybe you might just give a couple things a look. Maybe tonight, go up and just look at the sky. Think of what I said. I talked about that there's things out there that are so massive you can't even comprehend it. And talk about it with your kids. Guarantee it'd be fun. So
If you have kids.
whatever. Good night. Good night. Good day. Whatever time. Bye.
This next little segment is a bonus segment of what we recorded last night. But Dylan decided that he was too tired, so we didn't continue. But we decided that we did want to include it in this episode because it is relevant to what we've already talked about. And I personally enjoyed the conversation. So I figured we could edit this in as a little like bonus, like funsy thing, and it will make the episode a little longer. But that's just more for you guys enjoy. So after this clip ends, that'll be it for the episode. Enjoy.
My wife just called me air and then proceeded to go, "Mm."
I turned on the the light that we usually have on, but it's still a little too bright outside for the light. So that's why I made the sound as I turned it on. I was immediately disgusted by the color it made, so I just turned it off.
Well, yeah. So, episode 9, and I feel kind of bad because every episode so far it's just been me and my wife. But not feel
Well,
bad, but
I
like
know you were talking about not having like other people on until it was more cozy up here,
right.
and we
But
haven't quite gotten it there yet.
so far it just sounds like a me and my wife podcast. But
It's all
you know,
100% yours though. Like I'm just here to be a somebody to talk
a good
to.
old sport. Good old sport. A team
Yuck.
player.
A team player. Teamwork makes the dream work.
Oh, how about
How about?
how about
I'm listening.
how well our daughter's walking?
Oh my god. It's seamless now.
I know.
I feel
Today,
like it's maybe not it's seamless, but it's also effortless at this point.
yeah, today noticed her arms are starting to come down,
Shut up.
and when a good baby starts walking, the you're walking with her arms up to hold their balance.
A Jack Sparrow run
I
for a
noticed
walk.
today her arms are lowering, and that's when she figures out how to run next.
Mhm.
Right?
She's already getting there. She gets super excited and she tries to run, but then she falls over because she hasn't quite got the balance for running yet.
She's gotten better though.
Yeah.
She's not falling over as much, but
Mhm.
she's got a couple owies on her knees. Given. It's a given.
Right.
She was whipped yesterday, and she's
Oh yeah.
whipped today.
Yesterday was Memorial Day, and we went to my dad's side of the family. They have a get together every year, so we went there, and this was the first one where we had her, and she was running around, and they had a giant bounce house, so we took her in the bounce house for like a few times, and then there was other kids running around, and there was new family members for her to meet, and lots of good food because they smoked chicken and pork, and we had pulled pork and pulled chicken, and it was awesome. um I always love our Memorial Day party, so she had a busy busy day yesterday.
And then she came home, and she didn't fall asleep until about 7, and then she didn't wake up yet. I'm sorry if you heard that. Uh, our baby Mike was interfering with the. I don't know if it was just my headset or if.
No, it was the power cord for the.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah,
You
I
might have
don't know
heard
what
it.
that was.
Who knows? If you get it, whatever. Now we know, right? And so, and I'll also in advance, pardon my I'm still sniffly as shit. My nose is still running from whatever we got, and so pardon if you hear my sniffling or if I just sound nasally. But
I think we had a head cold
it's just a head cold.
because it wasn't what your sister had at
No,
all.
and it's odd to feel shitty during really nice weather.
Yeah.
It's just odd. But now it's like 90 degrees, so and when you're in a state that's surrounded by water, it's this only state in the U.S. that's
Well, no,
surrounded by three sides of water
Florida.
inside the continental U.S.
Okay.
Uh, Florida,
I mean, Florida and Michigan are the only two peninsula states.
yeah.
Yeah. So,
hmm
what do you mean inside the continental U.S.? Florida is inside the United States.
I'm talking about inside. Inside.
Technically, we're also on the outside because we border Canada.
No, 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 no.
Yeah.
There's land over there. If you go
But you said
if you go
inside.
straight out
You.
the end of the dick of Florida, what's out there?
Okay,
Not
but
Cuba, just what's out there.
Jamaica. Ooh, I wanna take you.
That's all I gotta deal with.
But no, listen.
Serious
You said
question.
inside the
Hello,
US.
Papa. Diggy diggy sugar diggy doo.
What?
Herminer.
You're saying the wrong words and it's pissing me off. You're on thin fucking ice, buddy. But no, you said inside the continental US. That means you were not including Canada. You could have said inside.
Inside the continent of North America.
There you go. You could have said that and you didn't. So therefore I'm
Sorry,
still
grammar
right.
police. Grammar. Nazi.
That's not grammar.
Sorry, Nazi. Go back to your Third Reich.
You're German too.
Yeah, I know that.
The fuck out of here.
You know, I have the urge every time to shave. Every time I shave, I have the urge to just not shave the middle of my
Oh
mustache.
my god, please never.
Just for like 5 minutes.
God.
Oh, I feel my
Yeah, but then you
arm.
would have to shave your whole mustache.
Well, I did. I kind of did that when I shaved recently.
No, like off.
Oh no,
And I'm never letting you do that again.
what is my face tooting? Can't take the imperfections in my face with not being covered up by my hair.
You don't have face imperfections. You just look better with facial hair.
Yeah, I don't look like I'm 15.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, if you don't have facial hair, chances are you look like you're 15.
Okay.
But
What if you're 15 with facial hair? How confusing is that?
well, then you look like you're 23.
You're either 10 or
Hey, you
40.
remember when I had less facial hair than I do now, but I
Mm.
was like 19 when we were working at Aldi,
Mhm.
and people thought I was 29.
Yeah. Everybody thought that we were older than we actually were.
Everybody thought we were in our 30s.
Yeah, and we're like,
Like, we're not
no.
even 20.
I was like, I just graduated. I literally got the job right after graduating.
Man, age is gonna hit you guys like a train.
I
Nobody,
didn't
no,
even
no,
peak in high school.
nobody said that. But
No, I never peaked.
what do you mean?
I'm just on a plateau with my looks.
You never peaked with your
I never
looks?
peaked with
You
my
know when I
looks.
peaked with my looks? When I was with you.
You're with me right now.
When I was first with you.
I think you look better now than you did
When
then.
my hair wasn't falling out all the way, like as much
I
as bad
think
as it
you
is
look
now.
better now than you did then. But also, I feel like a piece of that is because since I've matured, my taste in men has matured, and you've matured with it too. You know, my
Mm,
taste in men is you.
I hope so. Well, I hope so.
Well,
Wow. She just compliments me and then mocks me.
this is
How is
marriage.
that? Yeah, yeah. But one thing I didn't want to skim past is during uh the memorial party when we were sitting in the they rented a like a big bounce house, like a big bounce house,
I had like a slide and a
and
little tiny obstacle course.
uh when all the like kids and like young teens weren't bouncing in it, we tried to slip in there just by ourselves. So when we were in that bounce house, uh we tried to soak up as much time as we could with her in it, and her like going like trying to just figure out what the hell that place was.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden all the kids just come flooding back.
They see one kid go in and they're like, "Oh, that's right, that place exists," and they want to come back, even though it's a fucking baby.
Yeah.
Stay out. Like, no hate
And
to the kids, but like, please, if you see a baby in a bounce house, don't go in there.
and so one of our daughter's cousins no, our cousin, no, your cousin,
What?
uh
Talking about that little girl?
no,
Because I didn't have any cousins there this time.
Jim's boy,
Oh yeah, my cousin.
his youngest,
Yeah,
he was in there. And there was another kid that was just calling our daughter uh
the baby.
the baby.
There's a baby in here. Be careful. Be careful. There's a baby in here. And it was
And
all the girls saying to the
yeah,
boys to be careful. It was so sweet.
and uh Mary's uncle's
M
youngest,
my youngest cousin.
your youngest cousin, he was in there correcting everybody, saying, "No, it's I don't, do we want to say her initial?
It's up
No,
to
I don't
you.
know. Okay, no.
He was correcting them and saying her name.
Her
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 initials, because he
her
only knows her
two
initials.
initials, but yeah. So that kind of ruined that whole story. But because I couldn't, it's so confusing
Yeah.
now because I can't. Well, it's yeah. But he was in there and he was counting. He was just sitting there. How old's he? Three, two,
He'll be
three.
3 in,
He'll,
like, a week.
he's two,
Yeah.
and he'll be three in a week, right? And he's counting up to 100, just sitting there.
Just staring.
87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, and it's he's just and even there was like he was sitting right under this little like makeshift basketball hoop that was in there. That's part of the the bounce house, and a ball comes through and just hits him right in the top of the head, and it doesn't
He
even
didn't even
phase him.
flinch.
He
It was
didn't
so
even flinch. 98, 99, 100,
it was so
and
funny. And then he did the planets, didn't he?
then he can name all the planets,
Uh-huh.
and then he can name them in order from the sun,
Uh-huh.
and
And the colors.
he can name them in order from smallest to largest.
Uh-huh.
And he's 2. That part, I'm that part is still so amazing to me
Yeah.
that he can do that, and he's really isn't both of them really like,
Yeah.
and it's like that's awesome because Mary's uncle's got 2 sons, and they both are really, really into space,
Especially the oldest.
especially the oldest.
They're actually going to my grandma's taking him to Florida here soon,
Oh,
and they're going to the
yep,
space station.
that's awesome.
His You go into his bedroom and it's all space stuff. They made a giant rocket
Yep,
out of Legos.
yeah,
And he's like so particular about it and so careful about it. And they've got little like models and stuff. It's awesome.
I would have definitely loved to build rockets out of a lot of Legos when I was little, but um, that's just one thing. It's like it's as soon as I can, I want to, and or where she can comprehend it. I want to just go out at night, bring out a telescope, and it's awesome because there's 2 of them
Yeah.
now. There's 2 telescopes. My old one I got when I was like when I was a kid, and then there's this newer one when they couldn't find my old one, and so they just got a new one. And but now so now there's 2 of them because we found my old one, and just go out, perfect night. It's like the moon's out, it's really bright,
Hmm.
and just go and just point both those telescopes at the moon, and just introduce how up there exists
Yeah.
for our daughter, and you know when she can comprehend it
Yeah.
and or just begin to think about it
Uh-huh.
or ask things,
Yeah.
because I just want to. Because a lot of people they're never introduced to how amazing it is. When you just know that it's not like, oh space,
Hmm.
it's like, oh, it's not important. I mean, it's all around us. We're on a fucking rock
Yeah.
floating through space. It's like, how's it? And it's just endless.
Yeah.
It's endless, and
And that part is
it's
so
so,
hard.
it's so unfathomably large.
Yeah. That part that part is hard for me to comprehend
It's hard for
is
everybody.
how
It's
there's
hard.
no end to it.
It's hard for everybody to comprehend, and that's
Mhm.
why it's so fascinating to me.
Yeah.
And there's places literally that you can stand on that are just like this,
Yeah.
but they have no plants. It's an entire planet, same like not the same size as Earth. Some are smaller, some are bigger.
Yeah.
It would kill you, but you could stand on them. You
Yeah.
could. It's literally, you know,
It would kill you, but you could stand on them.
yeah.
So
And
you can't, but
like I always
if
look.
you were to be
Well,
able
I've
to.
always looked at that picture that was taken from that I can't remember the lander that landed on Venus
Mhm.
in the 80s. Uh, and it's a picture. You can see, or look at this. Look at, pull up that picture. and it's like we see a decent amount of pictures of Mars,
Yeah.
and um, it's just like when you then you see the image of the surface of Venus, and it's like that's a whole different planet. That's the image. It's
Huh.
just green, but it's
Yeah.
all black. Looks like black basalt.
Is
You know.
Venus a gas planet?
Well, no, it's got a surface. I mean, the gas plants do have surfaces, but technically,
Right.
kind of not really.
Okay.
It's just, it's just everything. Like it's just gas that eventually turns and changes density
Yeah.
until you get to molten metal.
Okay.
You know, like there's this really good video that was like that. I can't remember who it's by,
Mhm.
but it's on YouTube, and I really love watching it because they do that with a lot of planets, a lot
Yeah.
of the planets. That if you were falling, if you had just some suit on that's just it's completely fantasy. If some suit that protected you from 100% of every element possible, everything,
Yeah.
and you could just fall into the atmosphere of Jupiter, what it would look like.
Mhm.
And for a long time, it would just be storms, lightning, but it'd be
Hmm.
eventually, like really quickly, it would just turn black
Wow.
because of all that gas blocks out the sun.
Yeah.
But eventually you would stop because the metal that gas or that just the atmosphere would match your density and you would just float right there.
Huh.
But
So, which planets are gas planets? I
Saturn,
don't remember.
Saturn and Jupiter,
So, why is Venus green?
that's the atmosphere.
Okay.
It's all just I don't want to be wrong here, but I'm just taking a guess here. It's like all ammonia, I believe.
Okay.
No, um, methane. I don't. I can be very wrong. But
Got a lot of cows on Venus?
yeah, everybody's
Joking.
farting. I think
Everybody.
there's a lot of methane on. There's a moon of See, I always say it's really awesome to know your planets, but then it's hard to know the moons, and it's hard.
There's so
I
many
get them mixed up
moons.
with Jupiters and Saturns because they
Okay.
have so many moons.
Yeah.
And
Well, Jupiter's so big.
also, don't quote me on how many moons Jupiter has, but it's in the 20s,
I
20s.
thought it was more than that.
I thought it was more than that. Jupiter's moons. Okay, let's do this. So,
How many?
80 and 95.
I was going to go
Isn't
I
that
was shooting for
fucking
around 70
insane?
something for Jupiter.
It's all these and
Yeah.
42 more. Look at all those moons.
Jesus
I mean,
Christ.
they consider that a moon, but it looks like an asteroid.
Yeah.
It's just it's at that borderline of a moon, and it orbits
Yeah.
Jupiter, so it's a moon. A lot of them are, asteroid shaped or they're
They're
just
probably just
smaller
like asteroids got caught in Jupiter's.
gravity,
Yeah.
and they're just orbiting it. But that's also the same thing with Saturn. That's what makes the rings.
Right.
Earth technically has rings too. You just can't see them
Right.
because
I
they're
knew
so
that.
small. And also because Saturn's gravity is so large. That's why it caught. That's why. And then I completely forgot about Uranus. Uranus has vertical rings.
Does it?
Yes.
Interesting.
Uh oh yeah, I forgot Jupiter's.
Uranus is blue, right?
Yes. It's all and uh see when I'm on my when I'm it's if it was during time of day where I'm
Like
on my
2 o'clock
game.
in the afternoon
Two
when you're
o'clock
at work.
exactly every time is when I'm on my game, and I could tell you everything, and I could be like, yeah,
Yeah.
this is this and this is this. But coffee has worn off.
I thought about making some decaf, but I was like,
The coffee has worn off. I as soon as we got home, I ate and just hopped in the mower, and then didn't finish because I saw you guys got the splash pad out before I could
I
finish.
was trying to let it warm up, but then she was getting antsy because she was so tired.
It's funny thing. I didn't realize it would never warm up
Yeah.
because you always have to have the water running.
Yeah.
So, but whatever. And when it's really, really hot and muggy and stuff, that's gonna
Well,
be
your
perfect.
dad said that we could have used the hot water one if it wasn't broken.
It's broken. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know where. He's never elaborated
It's on the
on.
inside somewhere.
Yeah, I see. And the only way to fix it is get in that crawl space.
Right.
That's just dirt. It's
Yeah.
it's nasty. Um, but
So why is Uranus blue?
water.
That's what I thought.
Uh,
I'm trying
yeah.
to ask you questions just to keep it going.
But wait. Yeah, it's a gaseous ice. It's all
Okay.
ice. But yeah, it's got a little ring.
Isn't Neptune blue too?
Wait, hold on. Yeah, Neptune is blue.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why it's named Neptune.
Yeah.
Um,
Because King Neptune, king of the seas, or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah, and
They're also both generational planets.
yeah, look at that. Yeah, did you know that Neptune is the furthest planet from the sun?
I feel like I was supposed to, but I didn't.
Hmm.
I wish I would have paid more attention in science.
I loved science. Yeah, look at that. It was discovered in 1846.
I was more of a English language arts girly. English language arts and band, those are my strong points.
What are 5 facts about Neptune for kids?
Planet, 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 planet. Sorry.
Very creative.
Planet blue, planet, planet ice. That's probably wrong.
Yeah, so Neptune's blue, but most or 80% the planet's mass is made up of hot, dense fluid of icy materials, water, methane,
Oh,
and ammonia.
okay.
But no, earlier when I said methane, I was confusing. I think uh, it's one of Jupiter's moons.
Oh,
Is Our atmosphere is made of it consists a lot of methane,
hmm.
and mm, it was actually a fairly new discovery,
Okay.
and they're figuring out why, like trying to figure out why,
Yeah.
because that could be a sign of just of something there, that
Yeah.
is generating the methane,
Yeah.
but it's not something giant. Oh shit. Oh, okay. Thank you for reminding me.
Yeah.
That I have to tune back into the time to make sure we're still going. But why is the planet of Neptune so cold? Can you answer me that one?
Because it's furthest from the sun.
Good job. Can life exist? I'm pretty sure it can't.
No.
But you know how long the orbital period is?
How long?
165 years. It takes for Neptune to orbit the sun once.
Holy shit.
Yeah, Earth orbits the sun 165 times. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. That's why it's considered a generational planet,
Mm-hmm.
Uranus and Neptune. Because it's in those two planets are in the same zodiac sign for the same for generations. So like our generation was Neptune and Uranus were in Aquarius, which is a lot of the reason why our generation is seen as rebellious because Aquarius is known for um, technology and rebellion and uprising, and our generation is in the age of Aquarius.
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh, and today I figured out why. I know when I say I don't like my generation, and it's not just like, oh, everybody says that.
no, I hate my generation.
It's because I don't like because when somebody thinks of the generation that I'm a part of,
Hmm.
and what does somebody that's not in our generation think? Usually, first thing when they think of our
Eating Tide Pods.
do you think eating Tide Pods?
That's what I think of. Eating Tide Pods.
No, I think of they think of uh like I had it earlier when I was on during the time of day when I was on my game.
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, what's this?" Because I'm sitting there talking to myself because it's the only way to pass time
Yeah.
while I'm doing something that's just doesn't really take that much thought really anymore because I've done it so much.